Yeah, I think, yes, that we are connected on YouTube now. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Worldscope Mundane Astrology discussion in July 2025. Really, really intriguing months. I mean, well, in Europe, we have heat wave. Also in England, but when we compare England's heat wave, when we tell all our friends, they were just like, you call that heat waves? Yes, I am snowflake. It's only I'm seeing like a 29 degree. I'm already melted. I couldn't function properly. So if today I say something wrong, that was because of the heat wave at 29 degree. Okay, Celsius.
We
So yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, so today we will welcome Luisa, Anna, Jolie, Maria, and Leanne, our usual crew. So, whoa, today is, why I hear you say So,
Anna.
Anna, yeah, I did mention Anna. I think I did mention Anna. Yeah, I did, right?
Je dis.
Yeah, I did. you know, give me the hard time from the beginning. I need some fans.
Yeah.
I'm
Congratulations.
sorry, just an opportunity, just a photo opportunity. This is the hard proof copy for my comment in astrology, and I really like it. And the book cover is my photo, the photo I took last year in Tenerife, and well, Leah was there that time. I think, yeah, Leah was there that time. Yeah, so. This is so exciting. My first English book. I'm so excited. So book will be available from August. So please contact Waysex Astrologers. Okay. So, but this is not what we are going to focus today. So today we have a Superman, isn't it? We have a real life Superman just appear from the White House. Have you seen the picture?
Yeah.
Last time he was a pope, and this time he is a Superman.
Yeah.
I can see Jolie like
With the cape and everything. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. Where can I find it?
All the social media, just type Superman.
Oh, Trump, is it Trump Superman?
Yes.
He's younger.
Younger, much, much, much younger.
Much fitter.
Leanne's just seen it. I love it. I love it. That was brilliant. That was everything I wanted, Leanne. Thank you. What a reaction. Fabulous.
Yes. Yeah. So today we will start from Louisa, and Louisa is going to invite us to do a reflection about Uranus in Gemini. And then coming up, we will have Jolie talking about Cancer in Greece, and then Leanne will doubling down on Trump. I hope not. And then we will have Anna talking about the Mars conjunct South Node. So should we start? One thing I forget to do is make everyone co-host. Let me do it with starting Luisa. And then, okay, so Luisa, should we?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to share Luisa's slides.
It's much easier.
Yes.
Okay, so I've done, throughout my career, I've done a lot of research about the anaretic degree. So the fact that you have, in terms of personal charts, in terms of mundane, the anaretic degree has always had a special appeal for me because I think it blows up before it disappears into the other side. So that thing of blowing up, I want to take a look. So it's really a special interest, knowing that it will turn back. It will be on the 29th degree back in October, and then for a final pass in April. So everything we discuss here relative to Uranus, it's just the first act. Okay, another one. So maybe you can make it bigger.
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
voila.
Voila. So you just mentioned Trump in a Superman suit. But really, what's going on in the United States, it's really a show of fools. They passed the big, beautiful bill, which we know is going to create havoc in the economy. And one Republican congressman said it was laying the cornerstone of America's new gold age. Yes, right. So I thought that I would look at the solar return, which is something that we don't often do in mundane astrology, but I thought this was particularly interesting. So the solar return, I used Sibley. We also have a Jupiter return.
Yes.
So maybe that idea of grandiosity, maybe that idea is in that collective, and they accept that grandiosity, big, maga, better, right? And but if you look at the solar return chart, I think it has a couple of very interesting things. The president, which is the MC, is in Libra, and Venus just lost all dignity. And it seems that the president just lost all dignity. You know, he had a meeting with African leaders and was very surprised that the Liberian president could speak English. The lawsuit against that woman, sexual assault, whatever, he lost the appeal. I mean, really lost absolutely all dignity. And this was, and if you look at the chart, I started to include, because we are really in a fighting mode, so I started to include Athena, Pallas Athena, and I started to include Aries. Okay, so I started to include them, and then we start finding other stuff. So in the return chart, we have Pallas Athena with the moon. So some people are starting to wake up and starting to fight. And we saw that with the election of Zoran in New York. So I thought that was interesting. And you see as I always pay attention to I pay attention to where the ascendant falls in the chart, and I found this to be the Pluto on the south node of the return. I think it says something about the karma, about paying back whatever is coming. I don't know. And then our best friends, Saturn and Neptune, are on the IC. So this solar return sort of brought a lot of thoughts to mind. And I just said a few of them, but we could go on and on and on. For example, Aries is opposite the midpoint of Sun, Jupiter, and on. There's a lot of things we could say about it. I don't know if any of you want to comment on this one before we move on.
Can I just comment really quickly, Louisa? Thank you so much for sharing this. I'm really struck by that South Node conjunct Neptune in the 9th house. So, when we think of the nodes, one way we can think of them as creating illusions. And of course, Neptune is also a planet of illusion. So we're getting this double whammy of illusion in the 9th house of not only international, let's say, diplomacy, but also just politics in general. And, with the Mars there, which I know we're going to get into later, but it really adds that element of just kind of menacing illusion, not like fantasy la la. This is like actually there's a a tinge of perhaps cruelty, in the name of defense behind it. And that really strikes me. And then, that ascendant, solar return ascendant falling on the radix chart south node is this hearkening to the past.
Yeah.
And if we think about the Jupiter return, I'm thinking, well, that's that whole idea of manifest destiny that the US is essentially built upon. So, we do what we do because this is our destiny. Sounds like other countries that I know,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Yeah. So while the celebrating the big beautiful bill, you can move on to the other one because we could spend a lot of time on this one. Rod, next one.
Louisa, just before we finish, I think Malia said something quite interesting. Malia, do you want to make a comment?
Yes, I was looking at the MC of the return. It's at 29 degrees. So that usually suggests either the end of a form of government or a change in the form of government. And also the fact that Uranus of the return is right on the degree of the IC, right? And the IC, that could bring changes and unexpected changes in the IC. I mean, that's the country in itself and whatever comes from the earth. So I thought that was interesting. And also the fact that the ascendant of the return is on the second house. And it's all about money at the end.
About
It's
money.
the economy. So I thought that was really
But
it always I always find it fascinating when the chart shows the reality so well, it's like, it's always impressive to me.
yeah, I opened with the passing of the beautiful bill.
Big, beautiful.
And the idiot, a representative, saying it was laying the cornerstone of America's golden age. And then you look at the second house and you say, what golden age? Like Maria said.
Yeah. All right, so let's move to the next page.
So on the same day, we have the flash flood in Texas, that we know that more than 100 people died, 160 are still missing. And one thing that has come now to light is that they only talked about the children and the children in the camp, but an RV camp, I mean, big vehicles, was wiped out. Neptune stationary, right. Mars on the IC. I mean, this is for Kerrville. Kerrville, that's the town closest. And Mercury opposite Pluto. So there were a lot of death in that RV camp. RV, Mercury, the vehicles. And nobody talked about them because Pluto's in the eighth house. Let's shut up about these at least 100 more deaths. So this is for the flash floods. So while all this stupidity was going on in Texas, this was happening, and they found now that one of the reasons this happened was there was the missing link between the National Weather Service and the public safety personnel, because one simple thing, Dodge had been pressuring the guy who did that link, and he left. He retired early and was not replaced.
Yeah.
So there was nobody
Nobody
to
to-
Weather Service now, public, nothing. So a missing link. And I thought that's again, link. Who's the messenger? The messenger is Mercury.
Mercury.
And again, Mercury opposite Pluto. Gone. Cut. No messenger. And then when there's disaster, they call FEMA. They've been trying to gut FEMA. There is no need for FEMA, etc., etc. So FEMA could not work because the Secretary of one of those idiotic women, um, decided that any expense over $100,000, which in terms of disaster relief is like a penny, could not be done except with approval from her office.
Mm.
So 4th of July, no approval, nothing. It took disaster relief people 72 hours to see their funds approved to help. So, I mean, could this have been foreseen? Next slide. I saw this slide on the Facebook group of Mundane astrologers. I saw the slide on the left, reminding us of the path of eclipse. And in one previous Mundane discussions here, I also talked about the path of eclipse. There is an astrologer, a financial astrologer, Bill Meridian, who has done a lot of research just on the path of the eclipse. And here, it was like this drawing, it was vague. So I went to the to our computer to confirm to confirm. And actually, the line that's Kerrville. That's exactly on Kerrville, not where they cross, but that line. So it's extremely close. We are talking 20 miles from where they cross. I have nothing. There is no information about it. So the April 2024 goes exactly over Kerrville. So it's just one more thought that we should look at the paths of eclipse. We should not overlook it.
No.
Period. So
Yeah.
nothing. You can.
Yeah.
This is just information. And out of curiosity, move on. Just another one. Out of curiosity, I just wanted to check if Neptune was close in the ingress, how close it was to Kerrville. So this is the ingress chart of Neptune to that Kerrville city. Oh, well, it's 1.5 degrees.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you know, it's very sad. It's terribly sad. And this is not, I mean, I just showed this out of interest. Nothing, I don't have anything to discover, to add to these charts. This is just a reminder that we have to look at other stuff. That's it, period.
That mutual reception between Mars and the moon is just haunting, right? Mars falling in the 5th house of children, moon in the 1st.
Yeah.
And then, often we can see Venus. It was on one of your previous charts as well, Louisa, but Venus, can often represent women and children in mundane charts. And having Venus with Uranus, I think it was in the 12th house.
Yes.
So sudden, happening to the detriment of women and children in the 12th, that, and here it's kind of repeated basically, isn't it?
Yeah. This was from March.
And you've got the North Node there, suggesting that something is going to be missing. We only have half of what we need, right?
Yeah.
It's, wow.
I mean, we could go on with these charts, but
Just allow me add one thing about the fixed stars. The fixed star Skiat, the one really, related to notorious Titanic, always related to drowning. The fixed star is apparently located aligned with 29-degree Pisces. That's why from now on, for next couple of years, we will always for maybe for next 70 years, we will always have 140 years, we will have our Aries English chart. The sun is not far from Skiat, because 72 years 1 degree, so around 140 years we will have experience. That's why I stopped talking about it, because you're going to talk about this for another 140 years. We're going to boring everyone else. But look at this chart. This chart is not Aries English chart. This chart is Neptune, and you have what? You have a North Node, Venus, and the Mercury.
In an erratic degree too, here we go.
Yeah.
Again, end of cycle. This is, terrible.
Yeah.
So
next one.
Let's move on, because unfortunately, because elsewhere, somebody announced America's party. Okay, so Elon Musk announced it. I don't know where the hell he was, so I set it up. We know the time exactly because he announced it on X. But I set it up for Washington.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we have the same things again and again. So we have this Pluto, Mercury, Pluto again. We have these things again and again because it's the same days, the same charts. Here I again introduced Aries, and yeah, there. Speaking the same language as Pallas Athena. It doesn't show there, but they are in a sextile. So, and Pluto on the IC for Washington does not bring good vibes. I mean, the system in America is made for a two-party system, but how much havoc can this man create? That's the question. Okay. And then a few hours later, because you can move on, a few hours later, he files it. So it's not just talk. It has been filed. So here you go. A few hours later. There you go. So, and again,
I mean, that ascendant ruled by Venus conjunct an anaretic degree Uranus and Pluto in the 10th house. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I mean, this idea that from that Pallas Athena represents wisdom and craft, but it represents warfare also. She was born with a sword. And Aries is a feminine goddess, the goddess of strife, of discord. So these two complement a lot in terms of what might come, or So I found this whole thing very disturbing, because again, like the previous one, we have the ascendant ruled by no dignity Venus, just like the previous one. So these themes repeat, and repeat.
I would just jump in and add that Pallas Athena is actually, she's the goddess of strategic warfare.
Yeah.
Sometimes defensive. And in the 11th house, which is, let's say, Parliament or Congress, maybe that's actually speaking to an effort to kind of combat, through the organ of Congress, a lot of what's happening. But it's retrograde, and that's why it's not effective.
Now. But right now, it's squaring the moon. And the moon is not particularly happy.
Well, I don't think most Americans are particularly happy with Congress right now.
Yeah.
And certainly not with the opposition party. So
yeah, I mean, right. So so I thought then when I looked at all and what's going on and the news from LA, the militarization, you can move on to another one. I thought the militarization of, I don't know if you all know about this, but they're sending Trump started sending the Marines and starting sending troops, and for the first time, military personnel was deployed. So, and I think this was a total surprise for most people, because usually the military is just for outside the United States. So I thought we could revisit the inauguration chart, which we did, but we didn't pay attention maybe as much to Mars on the IC. There you go. And again, our little strategic goddess on the MC. We didn't pay attention to that then, I think.
That Mars falls right on Trump's Venus and Saturn, doesn't it? It's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd add as well, there was Uranus there had Juno opposite, exactly opposite. And that Juno-Uranus opposition fell right across Trump's MCIC. So everything about him is in defensive mode. There's so many indicators repeating about defending, whether it's Juno or Athena or Mars, Yeah. They're echoing themes all the time of military. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you can move on to the next one. This is just thoughts. I'm not trying to make a big point, except looking at this Uranus and what is going to bring us, etc., etc. When we talked about tariffs, I put these two together. So the Sibley with the Neptune ingress in Aries. And we discussed it, and I called it, is it the end of the American myth with Neptune on the IC? And I think we did that, the tariffs things, I think it was in April, and the tariffs still go back and forth, and really the sense that what people thought of America, the American myth of being the greatest country, the freest, etc., is crawling with all that's going on. And again, because it's more or less the same dates, Pluto on the south node, and Neptune on the IC, with our friend Mercury in an anaretic degree, close to it. So I seem to have been drawn to all charts that have planets on the 29th degree. There you go. Okay, and now it's not about. You can move on. So, Leanne, everybody has talked about the Gemini ingress of Uranus, but now again, I added our friends, and in the Gemini ingress, we have our little friend Pallas Athena, goddess of strategic fighting, on the MC, and this is for Washington. There you go. These things are following me. And Aries is completely and totally unexpected, except for Chiron, which has been there for like Rod says, for forever. So, because it doesn't move. So I thought, putting all these things together make me extremely uneasy. Therefore, let's change subjects. Let's leave America alone. And I don't know if you followed the Freedom Flotilla, what happened, the boat that Greta Thunberg tried to sail into Gaza to the blockade. And they were turned back. They were imprisoned and they were turned back. And this is the chart of when they left. And now I have all the female presence. I have Juno and Ceres, to see if I could look a little bit more into this chart. And I could again talk, but the idea is Now they are going to go on another boat. Will the fact that Uranus is now squarely in Gemini, will that make a difference? We are here to see, but that's an idea, you know. Let's see what happens. If on the next one, will things be different next time? So they have another boat, and it's leaving on the 13th of July, which is in 4 days, more or less from the same place. And now look, do you think they have a chance?
There's definitely something different happening here, because in the previous slide, we could see how Mars was ruling. Rod, I'm not sure if you're able to go back to the slide before.
Yeah.
But Mars was ruling. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Sorry. No.
Oh, wrong way.
Oh, wrong way. Sorry.
Wrong.
Rod's lost. Rod's lost.
It's old to see you now.
I was just noticing how, Louisa said about the female asteroids. You've got Vesta ruled by Mars, you've got Juno ruled by Mars, you have Ceres ruled by Mars, and there's Mars with the moon in the 10th, right? So that's like really like ouch. But in the next one, even though
they were incredibly courageous,
yes,
and they were arrested, they were incredibly courageous, and they got great press,
Particularly the French woman who's a member of parliament, I think, or whatever they call it in France. Yeah, she was. Yeah. But I noticed that in the next one, it's a really the scenario really does change, because now we have. I mean, of course, we've got Vesta and Juno in the 12th, still ruled by Mars, but there's I don't know. This feels a little bit different now somehow. I think, with Mercury opposite Pallas Athena with the moon this time. The energy of this chart is very different than the last one, I think.
And that beautiful aspects between Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, Saturn are now complete. These are now in their own signs.
This is a lot more strategic for sure. I think the last chart, I think they just went in full of confidence and acted. Perhaps there's a lot more planning here. And in the 12th house, there's always something about a divine help. So I think luck will be on their side, but there's something about disguise here, right? Because what Juno did, if you go to the myth of Juno, Jason and the Argonauts, okay? Juno likes to help heroes, and she disguised Jason's ship in a cloud so that he was able to get to safety. So there's something here about them being protected by something or someone, and there's going to be some form of disguise. I don't quite know how to explain it better than that. But I think this is a lot more planned and thought out. Yeah.
But it's funny that you talked about the Argonauts. Today I opened, I don't know if it was Instagram or whatever, and the same group that organized the Rafah March, where they were going to march and they were stopped in Egypt, are getting ships too and joining this one.
Yeah, a fleet.
From Tunisia. Unfortunately, I was scrolling. I didn't keep it, but I should. I mean, it will show up eventually again, and I'll send it to you. But
forgive me if I say something contradictory, but when I saw this chart, the first things draw my attention is that stationary Saturn.
Yes, ruler of the third.
Yeah, it's not
Pluto right there.
I was a little bit worried about it, and let me use the modern, perspective that if they are well organized, maybe something different. But But it look like a little bit, they
Yeah.
probably severe delay or strain on something. I don't know. I don't want to say bad thing. I really don't want to say bad thing, but it doesn't look nice with that Saturn. Only thing, my worry. Yeah.
Yes, I saw the same thing. Like they're getting stuck with the ruler of the third being stationary, and it being such, a heavy planet. And also the fact that the ruler of the ascendant, Mars, one of the rulers of the ascendant, is very, very near the South Node. And South Node in tradition is scandals, things that are being kept secret. So there could be things that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
And but I don't see them being successful with this chart. Yes, I had the same feeling as you did, Rod.
Yeah. Well, I wish them good luck. Really, wish them good luck.
And we have these, but now my point is that now Uranus is in Gemini.
Yeah.
Gemini is the natural ruler of the third. So we will that make a difference? Or Saturn will win and it won't make a difference? This is not, I'm not trying to make a prediction. I'm trying to illuminate, understand, see if we get anywhere.
Yeah.
But isn't that Uranus talking about ways of communicating that not necessarily imply getting there, You could have they could still make a stand and send a powerful message.
Agree.
And the moon is also going towards a square to that Uranus. So that Uranus is really important. It's the most angular planet in the chart. But I think that they won't be able to get there in time, or maybe they will, but with strong delays.
Yeah. But the question is, I don't think getting there is going to make a difference. It's the effort of getting there.
Yeah, that's what Maria says, I think. Yeah, the message has been sent out.
Because meanwhile, in New York, there's a Human Rights Council going on. And it's the 59th session, and it goes on from June to July. Again, here, starts with Uranus in one sign and ends with Uranus in another sign. So that's my point. And this, I chose the date when the report was released to the public, completely edited. And the report it's done by a woman called Francesca Albanese, who is the special rapporteur about Palestine. And she, in that report for the first time, she very clearly states the role of private companies in the illegal occupation and genocide, especially companies from the Silicon Valley, how much they are in there, and how much this war is about resources, about money. So it brings back the second house that we saw on the return, on the solar return chart. So when this on the last day, you can move on, please. On the last day, this is the last day. This is when the session closes, which is today. Today, and I assume it closed. It's Friday. I don't think they work in the afternoon. I don't know, but never know. So I felt that even 12 o'clock is a nice time. But look at this chart. It's completely different. Uranus is now in Gemini. Those beautiful aspects with the other planets. Saturn is not stationary yet. And those lines with Pluto, I think, and Jupiter on the midheaven, assuming that didn't work in the afternoon. Okay, and that's an assumption. Okay, so the woman who wrote the report has been sanctioned by the United States. I don't know what that really means, but she has not been contested, meaning nobody said you're wrong. She just was sanctioned. So I thought I'd take a look at her chart. Next one, and that's my. I'm almost done, and this is her chart, and she has Jupiter at 29 Taurus.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay. Oh, besides Mars in Pisces, actually defending those who need, and Jupiter is opposing Juno.
In 29. Wow.
So I don't think they're going to shut her up unless they kill her.
God forbid.
What
God forbid. I mean, the interesting thing for me is that Francesca Albanese has been speaking quite vocally, in support of Palestinian rights for, since this conflict in this iteration began in October 2023. They only decided to sanction her when she started talking money.
Exactly.
When she started speaking in capitalistic terms that they understand, that's when they decided we need to shut her down.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, well, it's according to script, so par for the course.
Yeah. But looking at her chart, of course, I don't have her birth time, but I don't think they are going to do a very good. They're not doing a very good job.
Well, I mean, that exalted sun and, Mars and Pisces, the spiritual warrior, it just describes her beautifully.
Beautifully. And besides, remember what I said, Uranus is going to go back to the 29th degree of Taurus in October, and then the final pass in April. So all this is a work in progress that I'm watching. Okay. Yeah. So as I told you, this was a reflections, and these charts, we could discuss them forever. But just the last one as a reminder, someone already said that it's a fixed sign on the Aries ingress.
Yes.
I know you're going to talk about the Cancer, but it's a fixed sign on the Aries ingress. So all these things could go on and on for at least for the second pass of Uranus on the 29th degree of Taurus. So my point in all these charts is to draw your attention to the anaretic degree and the fact that Uranus is going to come back and forth. So this is all things in progress.
But that's a really good point, Louise. If I heard you correctly, you said that Uranus will be coming back properly in April of next year. So this is a fixed chart that's good until March of next year. And then when Uranus makes that reappearance, we've got a whole new...
We got a whole new thing. It's in April now, but it will be close. It'll be close.
I'm looking for good news wherever I can get it, Louisa.
Okay.
Just give me some hope here.
I mean, if you thought that this year was complicated, I think the next is going to be more.
Yes, it will be. You're absolutely right.
I mean, and when I said the U.S., I mean, Albanese also points out about the hypocrisy of the European Union because because the whole thing is deplorable, and I don't think they're going to shut her up. Basically.
Wow.
Okay, this is just.
Thank you, Louisa. Amazing. Thank you for your lead. This discussion is so interesting. And I think Jolie want to continue look at the Cancer ingress, right? I have a good news for you. We have quite a lot of people watching online. Even I haven't have time to post it on the Facebook. So congratulations, ladies. You did a good job.
Brilliant. I love it. I'll speed through these. I won't, spend a whole lot of time.
Sure,
but
sure. You are co-host now, so please share your screen. Feel free.
Oh, fabulous. I just was very curious because I was looking initially even though it's a fixed ingress, I just wanted to see what the Cancer ingress brought up. And I thought I would actually compare it to the 1933 Cancer ingress. I'll leave it to you to decide why I decided to pick that particular year. But I just thought that there were some really interesting pieces to pick up here. I mean, I think we're going to be discussing in more detail Mars and South Node, but we can see that the 2025 ingress, which is on the outer wheel, is picking up that South Node in the 1933 ingress. We've got, again, the Mercury Pluto. This is actually something I've never noticed before, but Mercury Pluto, how tightly interwoven it is into the American story, is something that I really am kind of waking up to. So we have, look at this. The 2025 ingress has Mercury sitting right on top of the Pluto of the 33 ingress. So just, and then this one, Chiron on top of Uranus, that idea that history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. So, we're getting this feeling of how there is a revisiting of perhaps some of the energy from 1933. And then I decided, okay, well, let's have a look at a little bit later. So if we look at 1941, if I have it up, do I have it up? Bear with me. Sorry, everyone. I think, no, that was the Uranus. Here we go. Right. So 1941. Can you see that? Is that showing up? So here we've got, so 1941 obviously was a very pivotal moment because that was when the US finally joined World War II. And again, just paying attention to that Uranus, it's really striking. And as you said, Louisa, being in the anaretic degree, how there's this move, this change from being the isolationists of Taurus to the air sign of movement of Gemini, that's to come. So I think Maria was saying how, when you have that anaretic degree, it's on the cusp, it's indicating danger, but also something in the process of changing. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Obviously, there's been news about Hegseth and whether or not he's bypassing Trump in making certain decisions. And, that was making me think of, this Mercury here, kind of in the 10th house, young guy, kind of playing Maverick, playing the trickster. And then also, of course, we've got Pluto picking up the IC here from the 1941 ingress. So again, that idea of not repeating, but certainly rhyming. And then I'll just leave you with a couple of other pieces that well, I guess you could say scared me a little bit. But, maybe this is just me being fanciful. This is the Aries ingress from 1861. And of course, we've got Uranus at that very kind of pivotal point, if you will, of 8 degrees. And then if we look at, so if I stop share and we look at and then the Neptune bit, but then if we look at, oh, here he is. This is the one I wanted to show you. Look at where the ascendant is. 13 degrees, exactly the same as the 1861 chart. That 13 degrees. Uranus is back here instead of here. But it makes me wonder, kind of along the lines of what you were saying, Louisa, about how, unfortunately, I think it only gets worse from here.
Yeah.
And it has to get worse before it gets better. But, we have quite a bit going on in the 10th and the 11th houses. I apologize for not having put in any of the asteroids because obviously it would have been good, but the chart looked so crowded to me. I guess I picked them out initially, but that just freaked me out. That 13-degree ascendant is exactly the same ascendant as the 1861 Aries ingress, which what preceded the U.S. Civil War.
Yeah. And the
So,
Neptune cycle. you
Yeah.
know. And the Neptune, the war started, the first shot was with Neptune at 29, but the war started with Neptune in Aries.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
just gonna
Shot
let me
that
just
it-
bring that 1861 chart back up, Louisa, because you were
Yeah.
there we go.
So the first shot didn't kill anybody. And then 3 months went by before the war actually started
Properly,
Mhm.
yeah.
properly.
But by that time, as you say, because it started, technically it started, I believe, in April, but then, as you say, nothing was really happening until
Mhm.
June.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Anna, yes, please.
Yes, and then the next US return will have the Mars-Uranus conjunction.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in the 8th of Gemini, I think. Yeah,
So it
yeah.
gets better.
Yeah.
So it seems that the next year will also be very, very shaky.
Explosive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in Porto when Rick Levine was talking about years to come, and actually show the chart where he thinks everything is blowing up.
Mm.
And the woman sitting next to me said, "Boy, that's my 40th birthday."
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Someday, she's a Cancer, someday at the end of June 2026. Now I
Oh,
have my notes here, but
oh,
the,
the
the
yeah.
day he picked to see, I mean, next year, don't think you can relax, no hammock for you guys. No, this is going to be a run for your money. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realized I'm
Yeah.
just going to share one last piece. So
Sure.
this is obviously the Cancer ingress on the outside and the Sibley chart on the inside. And I was just noticing that Saturn sitting
Oh.
right on the IC. You know, this idea that, yes, of course, the Aries ingress is describing the entire year. But if we do look at the Cancer ingress for just what's happening in the moment, we
Mhm.
feel that, you know, that kind of stasis, and it's just all blech, you know, it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like it's moving. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It's kind of like the English hot weather heat wave. It's just hanging in the air and causing, you know, whatever. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Jenny. That's always lovely to have you here and sharing the very different and interesting perspective, especially you articulate so well. You know so many things we don't know. Thank you. Well, Leanne, do you want to present your slides now?
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Oh, share. That's not right. I will stop
No,
sharing.
we are seeing all your desktop.
Right, I'll stop sharing. Oh, hang on. It's all going wrong.
It could happen. You know,
Right.
it's a heat wave.
Yes, it's the heat wave. Share. Okay. Can you see that?
Not yet.
No.
No?
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, wow, handsome boy. Yes, here we go.
Okay. So I know we talk about Trump a lot, but he's an agent for change, whether we like it or not. And
Sure.
yeah, he's creating turmoil everywhere, but the world needs change, perhaps not quite as dramatically as it's happening, though. So just before Trump won the election last year, he had a Juno return in September. And if I'd looked at this Juno return at the time, I would have said he's going to win the election. All right. So we get Juno returns every 4.5 years. And so this is sort of telling us about his relationships, negotiations, creative endeavors for the next 4 years, really. And I'm not using this as a Juno promotion, but you'll see why this is so important and interesting. So Juno return and Juno is rising. So that's a wow moment. It's like having a benefic rising. And at the minute, Trump is just manifesting and projecting Juno on speed, on overdrive, you know. And one of Juno's manifestations is about keeping peace, recalibrating relationships, contracts, financial arrangements, about the fair division of power and money. And we're seeing Trump doing that at the moment. But I think in some ways, Trump's made himself like a parent figure for the world, hasn't he? Or at least of the US. And, even when he was at the NATO summit the week before last, the NATO head, Mark Rutte, was going, he's the daddy, he's the daddy. So Trump's taken on this, Johnny's face, Trump's taken on this parental figure, right? And a key point to note is that Trump's natal Juno sits right on top of the Sibley's Saturn, which I'll show you in the next slide. And that's very important. And Trump's Juno also sits on NATO's Neptune, which is opposite NATO's Sun. So he's triggering that Sun-Neptune opposition in NATO's chart. And he's recalibrated a new final arrangement with NATO, because all the NATO allies have now committed to contributing 5% of their GDP by 2035. And he thought the amount America was contributing was unfair compared to the rest of Europe. So his Juno is recalibrating even peace arrangements. So he's projecting himself as the world's peacekeeper, isn't he? He wants the Nobel Peace Prize, and I can't believe Netanyahu is absolutely, has nominated him for that. But it's like he's seeing that, he's acting like just a great messiah or savior of the world, out to restore global peace. And, Juno fights for peace, perhaps not as extreme as this, but this is just the extreme version, I can't tell you. But he is recalibrating the world on so many levels. Our approach to defense, our approach to peace, the economy with all the tariff carry on, and his great, big, beautiful budget. It's all about recalibration. But think back to a couple of weeks ago on TV when the ceasefire broke down between Israel and Iran, and Trump was swearing on TV saying Israel and Iran don't know what they're doing. He was like a very cross parent, just ticking them off, telling Israel and Iran off, Anyway, quick look at this chart. Obviously, Juno rising. We can see Mars up there on the midheaven. So no wonder he's putting all of his energy into this universal recalibration. And that Mars actually sits conjunct the Sibley Mercury, doesn't it? Or close to it. Or it's between the Sibley Sun and Jupiter. But what I thought was quite funny was Juno forms the apex to a yod with the moon and Saturn. So no wonder he thinks he's this great parent of the world. He's going to fix the world and bring global peace, that type of thing. But what's also interesting today is Juno is stationed at 16 of Scorpio, right opposite the moon in this Juno return chart. Okay. And what did Trump announce today? He announced that he's sending US air defense systems to Ukraine. So he's gone into like complete protective mode again. Okay. The last time Juno was at that degree, when it was at 16 Scorpio, was December last year. Trump wasn't yet in office, but he was going around the world, negotiating with all the leaders and really pushing his agenda through. So I'd expect more of the same for sure. And I can't believe I'd prepared this. And then just as he started this, I was informed about Superman Trump. So I had to put it in while everyone else was talking, because this is what we're seeing. I'm looking at the words there on that poster: truth, justice, and the American way. Trump really thinks he's going to save the world. And so much of it is shown in this Jupiter return. So But Superman protects the people as well. So I think this is about Trump protecting the people of the US anyway. So this is Trump's natal chart on the outside of the Sibley there. So you can see his Juno right on the Sibley Saturn. Again, this parental authority figure. It's patriarchy and self-defense. It's the protective parent. And we can see that forms a very tight square with the US sun there. So, it's Trump wanting to protect the people of America, but who he deems the people to be. We know about the Mexican War. We know he's deporting people. So it's all about who Trump deems to be the people of America, isn't it? And it's really interesting that in his inauguration speech, he said, the scales of balance will be readjusted. America will be proud, prosperous, and free, greater and stronger than ever before. And just look at that Juno Saturn, the scales of justice. So very quickly, I just had to put the poster into every slide there. Very quickly, this is Trump's Juno return around the Sibley chart there. And look at the Mars there, picking up the Jupiter, the midheaven. Look at his Jupiter on the Sibley Mars. It's just this superhero thing. You couldn't make that up, could you? You could not make that up. What else do we have? We've got Mercury on the Neptune, so he's spellbinding people with all the fairy tales, the gaslighting, whatever. Yeah, I really don't think you could make that up. But Mercury Neptune, it's about the movie industry. And look, he's using that rhetoric to make himself into the hero. Unbelievable. Just one little quick slide there. So I put the Juno return onto the map, and we can see Mars on the midheaven going straight down through Washington. So yeah, it's just Trump fighting for America, isn't it? And then Juno on the midheaven there going down through East Europe. And Venus going down quite close through Kiev and those places. So yeah, just Trump wanting to be that great negotiator. So that's it, really.
Yeah, Leanne,
Thank
wait a
you.
minute. Leanne, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Can we see what's happening with the line that goes over Rome? Because
Yeah.
now the Catholic Church is the big enemy.
Ah, yes, we've got the nodal axes on the midheaven.
Yeah.
Very close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah.
Catholic Church is the big enemy because they are against the deportation of immigrants, and
Yeah.
the bishop in California, I don't remember his name, has like 1.5 immigrants in his flock, and it's creating
Yeah.
it's not going well.
No, that's really interesting, and I think it's just a great promotion to use Juno returns.
Yeah.
It's shown us so much. Yeah, that's very interesting going down through the dragon's
Yeah.
tail and head. Yeah. Yeah.
Jolie, why not turn on your microphone?
Oh, I just
Yeah,
feel like
Jolie.
I'm talking so much here, but it's just I'm fascinated by the nodal axis, and I love that you pointed that out because
Yeah.
there was definitely a step change when Pope
Mm.
Francis passed away and Pope Leo became Pope Leo. So I think the fact that he has they apparently were working behind the scenes to get an American Pope, and they got one, just not the one they wanted. So it's fascinating.
Yeah. Anna?
Yes, I was watching the Juno return. There is a bright trine between or among the Sun, Pluto, and Uranus. So super.
Yes.
Yes, and at the same time, Juno is the antition of Saturn.
Ah.
Yes, which creates yes, it's another reconfirmation of the contact with this quincunx, but also with the relationship with the other chart in which Juno and Saturn are together.
Yeah, just all those themes again and again. That's great.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Being that Saturn the ruler of the forest, that the whole world, the whole territories are according to his will.
Yeah.
Very Superman, very superhuman.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Leanne. Well, since this couple years we run the Worldscope, and the very first things I regret now is tell Leanne about the Trump Superman, and I have seen in every slice. That really hurt my eye. Okay, so but
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
yeah, but even though I have to, Juno's book, if you miss it, go to buy it, okay? Go to buy it. It's so fascinating through all this presentation. But you know what? Leanne is amazing because she has her second ebook just come out. Leanne, could you tell us a little bit more about the name?
Yes, so I've just written an ebook on intellectual revolution, and it was inspired by the talk I did in Istanbul last month. And we all do so many talks, and sometimes they just get filed away. So I'm like, no, I'm turning this into an ebook. So that should be available any day now. It's ready. I've got the platform. It's all done. I just need to launch it.
Yeah, because because I have to explain the background, because that was in Istanbul, and me, Leanne, and Taya, we are just chatting, and then Christine just joined, and Christine saying, "Why not turn that into ebook?" And then we go, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then I was in Taiwan for 10 days. When I come back, Leanne's book is out.
And speaking of asteroids, Anna has something to tell you guys.
Oh yes, Anna.
Do you mean about the article, Luisa?
Yes.
Okay. My article about the asteroid Igea was published in the OPA magazine.
Congratulations!
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
so Anna, you're going
free.
to also So you're also going to show some slides today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And believe me,
yeah, we are ready.
Okay, prepare yourselves. Okay. Prepare yourselves. Okay.
Ooh.
Let me know you see it. You see it?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so today I decided to have a look at the upcoming Mars South Node conjunction, because for me it's very, very telling or surprising, and for sure I think it will be. So this is the chart of the Mars conjunction South Node cast for Greenwich. So we have here that the axes are in 29 degree, the last degree. And at the same time, we have here that Mars and with South Node will be in the 6th house. And we have this conjunction here, Saturn, Neptune, and here in the 4th house, the Moon and Jupiter. So the ascendant is connected with the fixed star chart that we know what it means about problems with the floods, etc. And in the 4th house we have the Moon and Jupiter together, that I think that it will bring us a surprise about water, more water in territories, more floods maybe, or more movement about the over tourism, as it has already happened in many cities, and many things going on in the lands. And this Mars and South Node will be in conjunction with the fixed star, the nebula. The nebula, which is related to bitter, vindictive, cruel, and popular loss of position and public disgrace. So I think there will be things going on there. And at the same time, the axis, the ascendant-descendant axis, is the degree of the upcoming solar eclipse in September. But that is not all. That is not all. When I check the positions of the planets, the Moon is fast and also out of bounds, 28 degrees. So it will be very, very shaky or very fluctuant, fluent, and as the Moon is connected with Jupiter as well, an exalted Jupiter. And when I check the parallels and contraparallels, the aspect, the Sun's sextile Uranus is in parallel sharp 0, 0. So maybe for this date, there will be a shaky moments. There could be some conflicting information going on, as as Mars is also. Sorry, I'm going back. Not only is they are together, but also are squares Venus. So maybe about relationships or everything that has to do with Mars, that is getting rid of, taking out the secrets or problems that are hidden, will be very sharp and not necessarily in a harmonious way. It will be kind of very shaky. So with the moon, with the parallel, I think that in 11 day time will be 11 days time will we have noticed conflicting information again or something going on, what is already been happening all time. And there's also a contra parallel between Jupiter and Pluto. So it's something to take into consideration. So when I put this in the map, what I observed that if we put the conjunction in the midheaven, it will cross part of the Texas, Mexico, and we have, well, we know the problems that we have in Texas about the floods. We have some earthquakes in Guatemala as well, and many other things will go on, and in this area of the world as well. And I put it here in these rectangles, the Mars when passing through the ascendant and the descendant. No? You have to follow these lines, curved lines. But it seems that the problems will continue in these areas again. When I put this square, I mean Mars South Node in square Venus, those are the only one that I will highlight with these ellipses, okay? So we have here that this conjunction will create a square with the null axis of Trump. Another axis here, and at the same time, this conjunction will be simultaneously between the opposition of the Sun and Pluto, and applying one. So we will have this connection, the Mars and South Node, bringing out the past or a sudden loss of energy or getting rid of something, and at the same time we will have this opposition with of the Sun and the Pluto, the light and the darkness. So I think there will be a shaky moment though in the 22 of July. Okay, in the case of US, we will have that this conjunction will be given in Neptune and Lilith, if you use Lilith, and Venus with Mars again. At that time, Uranus is creating a square with the moon of the country. Elon Musk had here the conjunction in the second to the third house, and he has a Venus return at that time. Well, I think he will continue with his ideas about this party, or maybe withdraw some ideas again. So I think there will be a lot of change of mind. Vladimir Putin, he has here the conjunction will create a square with Mars and Venus. Again, he continues with his position with Pluto here, not wanting a peace. I think he continues with the same position, and this time will create a tension because the Sun, the transiting Sun, will be creating this opposition, including with the ascendant descendant of his chart. In the chart of Russia, we have here that the conjunction is somehow far from Jupiter, but it creates squares with the Mars of the country. In the chart of Zelensky, I think that it will be very critical, as this conjunction will be at the top of at the bottom of the chart with the IC. And Venus with his ascendant. I think that he's I've been repeating that I think he's in danger. Maybe he's safe now, but I think that the planets are chasing him. So it could be a critical moment. And also the opposition Sun Pluto takes his Mars. In the chart of Ukraine, the Mars South Node is close to the Mars, and Venus here, it seems that it's only that connection, and Pluto is in conjunction with Saturn in opposition to the Sun Chiron. The NATO chart is very interesting because this conjunction, Mars and South Node, takes the ascendant of this chart and Venus the MC. So maybe we will have some news about news from this institution or the decisions that are already or agreements that they may have. In the chart of Netanyahu, we have here that this conjunction will take the Saturn and very close to the MC and Venus in this part. I don't see so much tension here, only that the Sun opposition Pluto will square his moon. Maybe some tension will be given by that time. And Israel, in the chart of Israel, this conjunction will be in the 11th house and Venus in the 9th house. Hope there will be some peace coming from them or something will unleash, but who knows? This Lilith with the South Node maybe could bring us some maybe not so grateful news. And in the chart of Palestine, I think this is critical because this Mars South Node will be in contact with Lilith and, well, Venus here. And the opposition will continue in contact and in alignment with the 6-12 axis. In the chart of Xi Jinping, we have this conjunction, Mars and Node, with the ascendant of the president and Venus very close to the Sun with the MC. And the position Sun Pluto here close to the nodal axis of the president. In the chart of China, this conjunction will be held in the 8th house and Venus in the 5th house, and the opposition is taking, well, Pluto and Moon are together from a long time, now with opposition with the Sun. And in the chart of Iran, Mars and the South Node will be with the South Node, a separative conjunction, but in opposition to Mars. I create a square with Venus. In the case of India, we have here that the conjunction Mars and South Node will be in the 6th house, creating a square with Chiron and transiting Venus. It seems that there will be a kind of peaceful time for at least for some days. And in the chart of Pakistan, I see here that this conjunction will be given in the 5th house, but the Venus with Uranus here. And where the opposition is taking the moon of the country. So what I observe here is that maybe some conflicting information or again some movement will come up, not in all these countries, but probably again with Ukraine. USA of always is in the paramount of the news. And I think that we will have some notice again about conflicting information, maybe in a lesser degree than before, but I think that something will come up, something will appear and it will be very quick because the moon is very fast, out of bounds. Mars tends to act quickly, and with the South Node trying to get rid of or bringing up some problems, and not necessarily in a harmonious way because it's in squaring the Venus. And of course, the participation of this star in Nivola, which is very related to loss of position and public disgrace. So that is what I wanted to share with you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you always for this amazing presentation. Yes, any comment? Do we have any comment? Yeah.
I just wanted to mention the China chart. I think it was actually the president where you see Venus on that one.
Yeah, okay.
Venus on the sun. You know, he is really coming across, isn't he, as this like the ultimate diplomat because it's in such stark contrast to, you know, the US. And I just think it's so interesting too, because I was recently reading an article saying how America is basically, you've got the two superpowers, and America
Uh-huh.
is placing its bets on fossil fuels whilst China is placing it on renewables. And
Mhm.
somehow that's what I'm getting from that chart. But in the event that there's some kind of like event that kind of, explodes on the scene, I just think
Mm.
this chart is really uh, once again kind of re-emphasizing how China is being seen more and more as this diplomatic figure, as a figure of reconciliation, as a figure of harmony. So I just thought that was really striking.
Yeah,
That
thank
was
you.
excellent, Anna.
You
Thank
know,
you. Thank you.
there has been
Yeah.
a problem with the president of China because lately in Brazil there was the meeting of the BRICS
Mhm.
in Rio de Janeiro, and Xi Jinping met Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, and they mentioned and talked about the business about getting to the port from Brazil to Peru,
Mhm.
because we have in Peru a mega port that is from
Yeah.
China. Okay, so they began to talk about, yes, let's do this train rail from Brazil to Peru to send the products to China via Peru. And they created a problem here in Peru because it's like they got together the conversation, and Peru was not in. Yes, Peru was not notified by them. So lately there has been a lot of criticism about those conversations that
Mm.
we already knew, because when we started with the port of Chancay,
Yeah.
Brazil was very interesting about creating via to send the products to Asia, getting through Peru. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this late meeting in the BRICS, they have already talked and they say, yes, let's do this, let's do that, and they ignore Peru. So there's a lot of problem here now, and creating something to participate, or at least to be known. So this Mars node in the 12th house, very close, is like where we are creating something behind, but I think that in all these diplomat situations, I think that the position of China and the president is not getting involved in those scandal or
Mhm.
responses back to back to what happens. What happened is that I think he has a very tactful and wise position, how not to get involved in the anger of the conversation.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Okay. Well, thank you, Anna, and thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. I mean, today we talk a lot, and thank you for Louisa to prepare that reflection of Uranus, and with that, on a racket degree, that is so interesting. And thank you, Jolie, for bringing us the Cancer increase in the United States. And Lian, you're Superman. I will never forget that. Also, you talk about Trump, but it's amazing. Okay, and thank you, Anna, and thank you, Malia, to join us. And then, for those colleagues who are not here today, Grace, Mark, and Liz, Mando, well, we miss you, and please come back, join us in the August. Okay, thanks, everyone, and well, I will hope everyone in the South America is not too cold, in Australia it's not too wet, and in Europe or or North Hemisphere it's not too hot. Oh my God, it's crazy. I know, yes, Jolie, they're doing that. And I was keep watching Maria with her scarf. I said, that is so hot. That is so hot. Thanks everyone who joined us today. It's my pleasure every month to run in this and to see our colleague and chatting, even this hot, but I do really enjoy it. But okay, so thanks everyone joining us. And oh, don't forget, tomorrow, Lian going to give a presentation to the AOA talking about the harmonic make easy. If you still have time, make a donation and come to join us. Go to visit aoa.co.uk. Okay, see you everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.